So you went to a Marlon Wayans show.
Yep, Marlo Wayne's comedy stand up.
Oh man, now I wish I had gone.
Yeah, it was funny. It's crazy that I went there because they even tell you you're not allowed to record. I thought
I was thinking that too.
Yeah, I thought me. I was trying to get get a little recording so I can get a little check for posting it on.
I was thinking that.
Nah, you have your phone out. The security guard comes down the aisles and flashes the lights. Stop recording. Stop recording. Like, and it's embarrassing because everybody's in the row, so they'll flash a light on you and they're like, "Don't record. Don't record." And you're like, "Oh, okay." You put your phone away. I mean, I saw a bunch of people it happened to, and then because people were trying to test them, but then after the first couple people, they're like, "All right, yeah, we shouldn't be recording because you're supposed to enjoy the show." And I guess he does the same act, I guess, so they don't want you posting it online, but. What he said was his biggest reason, and I didn't know this, was he doesn't want to be canceled.
But people are watching anyway.
That's what I'm saying. But he said he doesn't. Well, it's easier to defend against no video proof. People can go on Twitter and say what they want, but if somebody actually records a video of you saying it,
yeah,
that's it for your career. So that's what he said. He said the cancel culture right now, he doesn't want any clips going out there of him saying people taking. Well, he said some pretty crazy stuff on there. He said some racial slurs on there. I was like, whoa, man. And I'm talking about hard racial slurs on there.
Last time I saw him was on White Chicks.
Oh yeah.
So I can only imagine what he's talking about now.
Yeah, he said some hard. I was surprised. He said hard racial slurs. Literally. Literally. And he was making fun of Caucasians, and he was saying the slurs as the Caucasian, imitating them. And I was like, yo, even Lauren felt uncomfortable in the crowd because she started looking, and she was like, yo, you're not a fan. But it's a comedy.
Yeah, that's how comedy shows are. That's what they're fighting for too.
Mm-hmm.
They are, that's a big controversy right now. And actually, I listen to Joe Rogan a lot. Yeah. Did you know Joe Rogan is a comedian at first?
Yeah, I know.
Most people don't know that. People just think he's a UFC commentator, but he's actually a comedian.
Yeah,
that's his true heart and his talent, his niche, his favorable thing to do is actually comedy. But a lot of people never realize that.
Yeah,
they never know that. But he's speaking of comedy, he's always talking about how right now that's what they are fighting to do, because the whole Dave Chappelle thing.
Oh, he mentioned that.
Yeah. Man, now I want to go to Marlon Wayans' show now.
It was
man.
Hilarious. He said, and they beat the mess out that man.
Oh, you mean when he was on stage?
Yeah, he said, man, I never seen someone's arm look that way.
But you mean his security guard?
Yeah, he's talking about the security guard.
Oh yeah. They did some damage to him.
Yeah.
I said I'm not gonna mess with Dave Chappelle ever. I would never mess with that guy. I saw it was trending. It was online. Of course TMZ broke it first.
Oh yeah.
And at first it didn't make sense to me. Then I started reading about it. Just kept looking, reading into it. I'm like, man, this is crazy.
Yeah, it's so funny that you say that because that's what he mentioned in the show. He was talking about the different reactions from different backgrounds. Yeah. So we see a video like that. We call all our family and say, yo, there's no way you did that. You're saying different families, and they see that they're more like, oh man.
Yeah.
Well, I guess they're the same.
Such is life. Such is life. Yeah, man. It was just so random. Dave Chappelle somebody attacks Dave Chappelle on stage, and I was like, this just happened in America in 2022.
Speaking of, what do you think about that? With what's his name? The Oscars. We didn't talk about it. That happened a couple months ago.
The Oscars. Oh, the lady who ran on stage protest. Will. Oh, okay. No, I'm thinking about. See, a lot of things are happening. What I was just asking you about is, I'll get to Will in a second. But there's a lady that was.
I know who you're talking about.
She was what was it? she was protesting for women's rights in Ukraine. The whole thing going in Ukraine.
Talking about the one on the red carpet, right?
On the red carpet. So that's what I thought you were talking about.
Yeah.
So she pretty much ran onto the she was wearing a fake dress, like a prop dress.
Yeah, prop dress.
Yeah. Then eventually when she got the spotlight, she just took everything off.
It was crazy.
When I see things like that, right? I'm all for women's rights.
Mm-hmm.
This has nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
But my mindset, my thoughts, I give it to her because that courage, I guess that's what really, that's the whole idea with doing stuff like that. And I applaud it for that. But I just try to think, how do you even get to that level? It's amazing how somebody can, because even just the planning of it, how you plan it. Is she famous? Did you know?
I don't even know how she got on there.
I don't even know how she got there. So you had to take some time to plan it out and go through security and stuff like that. I was just amazed by that. But I thought that's what you're referring to.
That was crazy to me.
That was crazy, yeah.
But they buried that story so
I was
hard.
about to say the media is not even talking about that. Yeah. It's just it's somewhere else. It's under the archives now. It's under the files. It's shoved somewhere else.
Yeah.
But I know what they're talking about. Will Smith. So it's man.
Yeah, he was talking about Will Smith. Oh, that's what me and Laura talked about. We were like, wow, Will Smith made a lot of comedians rich.
Yeah, I know. Chris Rock says apparently he's not talking about it yet. He said he's saving it for the right time. I've been seeing a lot of reports saying, that's the first thing they're asking him about, and he just doesn't address it.
He's not saving it right. He's building it into his next comedy show. That's what he's doing.
Well, I guess that's what he means by that.
That's just gonna be his first joke when he gets on stand-up. Well, I got slapped. That's what he's gonna say in his first thing.
Yeah, I guess that's what he means by that. He's just, he's waiting for the right time.
It's crazy to me because I didn't think about it until I went to the show and he was explaining how Will Smith is. It's interesting because Will Smith is very much. He was one of the only people that we can say made it. He has super clean. I mean, for the entanglement and all that, but he has a super clean record. Nothing bad about him. He doesn't have any. He's that guy. That guy who just he's just Will Smith. He's always laughing and then he slapped somebody on stage and now he's one of us.
Yeah, well, he has a stigma. You gotta understand, he's been doing this for years. That's Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah.
The cool kid.
He
was the first one to give us our courage to go to school. With the Jordans and from the rich neighborhood. He was the first one because his whole story wasn't being. I can't say wasn't being from poverty or being from the hood or anything like that. His story was the kid who just happens to be with he came from Philly where his parents did not have everything, but then he was the good kid, the clean kid, so that's the image of Will Smith that anybody, at least most people will have of him as soon as they So for this to happen, I even really wanted to talk about this on the podcast, to be honest with you, because I feel like you said, everybody's is feeding off of that.
Yeah.
Not that it's a problem,
yeah.
but it's the that's why I saved it for I saved it for later on when it's dying down, but it just never die.
Yeah, it would never die.
It never dies. So I was like, well, why don't we just go in and talk about it?
Because that's what he was kind of saying. It's because us, like me and you. People who, because we like to say we're underground. We don't like mainstream or like main, big things. Commercials, what we call it. Other people, we're like, yeah, it's Will. He's cool. But to the commercial, it's Will. Like mainstream, Hollywood, all that. That's Will Smith. He's a big deal. Yeah. To us, it's Will. You know Will from Fresh Prince, but that's about it. Like we don't really care about him any after that.
Yeah.
But he's actually way bigger than what we make him seem to be. So it's like crazy that all happened. And I just pray he's doing okay. I hope everyone's okay. I hope Chris
Didn't
Rock's
he go
okay.
to I think he's in another country now. You kind of he has to PR it.
Yeah,
he has to PR it. He has to clean up. That's another thing about being a celebrity. All these people want to be celebrities, but are they ready for that challenge? Are you ready for that pressure? Like when you're a celebrity, you're not human. You're superhuman. now Superhuman has offended his audience now. So, and now he has to deal with it. So, yeah, they are rich, they're wealthy, they have everything they need. They can't, it's all hard work. Those people don't remember.
Yeah.
We tend to, thinking of celebrities, they're not
touchable or something.
They're
not human.
They're not, but they are human at the end of the day. They're human at the end of the day. We just, we just happen to put them in a higher, spectacle, and of which they should be, and they should know better. But it's part of what's happening right now. It's happening to everybody. Mental health is happening from the least important person. Not that anybody's important. No, I take that back. The least, well-known person, all the way to,
the president.
The president. He has his own. Trump had mental health issues with his McDonald's. He didn't get his McDonald's. It was bothering him. So it's very, very. It's a iffy time right now. It's an iffy time. It's what a time to be alive. Drake and Future were a little bit ahead of themselves with that, because right now it's what a time to be alive.
Yeah.
It's not everything is bad, not everything is good. It's just in between.
Yeah, a lot of gray area.
It's a lot of gray area. We're in the gray area of life right now. I know there's people in the 70s, when they got to that era, they were feeling the same way too. This is our time to feel that. You know? When they started coming out with seat belts and stuff in cars, they were like, man, now we have to strap ourselves off when you drive a car. That was new to them.
It was.
So it's that time right now for us. We got the Elon Musks right now. Those are our Abraham Lincolns.
Yeah.
Our George Washingtons. Our Nikola Tesla.
Yeah.
Ironically, literally.
Yeah.
But so man.
Yeah.
But yeah, Will Smith. I can imagine. Being in his place. I try to put myself in those shoes sometimes.
Yeah.
When things like this happen, I try to say, how is it at home right now?
Yeah.
You think him and Jade are just sitting there discussing it?
Yeah. It's hard.
Because
like the joke he made, everyone's imagine your friend getting on stage and making fun of you. Your wife in front of the whole. But I mean, what makes it bad on his part though is that it wasn't as funny as a joke. I mean, I guess people were laughing, but the joke wasn't that funny. It was kind of a lame joke.
For who? Chris Rock?
Yeah, it wasn't that funny. So it does make Will look even worse because he hit him on the joke. Like if he said something like bad, like like your wife is super bald and I don't know, he said some disrespectful stuff, then I guess. But it was like,
yeah,
I don't even know who G.I. Jane is. I don't know who that is.
I know now. I don't even think I watched the movie.
I never watched the movie, so I was like, yeah.
But
I understand though. He's a husband, he has to.
Yeah. Another thing though, to be fair, he's being victimized more than the person who got slapped. Everybody's talking, he's being victimized. Nobody cares about good old Chris. Nobody went. Denzel Washington. I think who else? All these other celebrities that were at the show, they went out there and started hugging Will Smith. Even Chris Pratt. I heard. Yeah. He went out there arguing. It's okay, buddy. Chris Rock is out in the back with a big old face mark on his face. Nobody's hugging him.
Because Chris Rock played his role perfectly. Now, if he smacked him back and they got to a fight on stage,
he'll be the one who was
Chris
the
Rock
hero.
is the one
He'll be the hero.
Yep.
But the thing about it too, I applaud him. I'll be the one to give Chris Rock his flowers because he handled that situation very well. I don't even know how I would have handled it because a slap. There's nothing more disrespectful than a slap. I would rather take a punch before I take a slap.
It's so funny you say that because that's everything that they're talking about in the comedy. He literally said either Chris Rock is the strongest man we've ever seen in the world, strongest emotional well-being, or he's the scariest man we've ever seen in the world. He's just scared to fight. Because slapping somebody,
Marlo and Mel,
slapping somebody isn't a joke.
It's
on
not
the
a joke.
stage in front of the world, you get slapped in the face. Oh my gosh. I applaud
him for that. Even mentally, just the way he was so calm, collect, and it's either that or he's a very, very, very smart businessman. Yeah. Because somebody owes him money for this humiliation. Is it the Chris? Is it the Oscars? Is it he did the right thing, so he gotta get paid back.
Yeah.
He gotta get it because that's the biggest award he can get. It could be a monetary. I'm sorry, just it is what it is. Such is life. So he has to. He just has to, be compensated. It could be with the spiritually by God or anybody, but here in the human world, you gotta get paid. So, but it's oh man, good old Chris. But Chris Rock was funny on the show. He has a lot of good movies. I heard these shows are selling out, but apparently his management said they've already been selling out. They just triple selling out now. But everybody hates Chris.
Everybody hates Chris. Will hates Chris.
That's a classic now though already.
That's true.
I wonder if the numbers went up for that show. Is it on Hulu?
I don't know where it is.
I don't think it's on, because we can't say it's on TV because TV doesn't exist anymore.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't exist anymore.
So,
speaking of TV, so you want to tell them that we went to Fan Expo this weekend?
Oh yes. I'm in the wrong business.
What was your reaction to going to Fan Expo? So we went to Fan Expo, which is an event they have in different cities, like different big cities, and they had one in Dallas. So it's more like you're a fan of it's more anime, comics, games, all the stuff that you would consider a nerd to be. But nerds are cool right now. So, but we went to an expo on Friday. Today's Sunday, so we went 2 days ago. And Mel doesn't watch anime. He's starting to get into it a little bit.
Yeah, I am.
He doesn't play games. So, I love anime and video games. So it's kind of interesting. I want to see what his take on the convention is.
I would say though, for somebody coming in from the outside, I have a love-hate relationship with the feeling that I have right now towards that. One side of me is regretting that I didn't get into this at an early age, because it's such a cool experience. For a lot of reasons. If I got into anime or on any of this, especially anime, at a young age, I think my mind would be molded differently for the good and for the bad. Because there's been a lot of times, like when you listen to music and then whether it be a rap, just a regular song, or R&B, whatever. So they sometimes reference an anime character or an anime episode in them. So now it would make sense for me if I understood what they meant by that, and I would be it would actually open up my creativity, to where I could actually reference all that stuff. Yeah. So it's weird. I was thinking it that way, but that's one thing that was touching me. I was like, man, I've been missing out a lot. And the characters, I when you don't really pay attention to it, you just don't care. Like, okay, why? Okay, it's Tokomutu. Okay, what's so cool about it? But when you actually focus on it, when you see the art, the color, the character of the person, just how their superpower. Yeah. And you just start thinking from a nerd mentality or perspective. You just start seeing how did they do this? Just the animation of it, the way they do everything. Yeah, it's really amazing. It's so dope. It's so cool. So I was just struck. And then just when we went to the Fan Expo, just seeing how many fans. Oh yeah. How many people watch, and that's probably 2% of the people watch anime in the world. Yeah, that's just the Dallas area. Yeah. Not even everybody in the Dallas area. Yeah. Those who wanted to, who could make it, and also so for the. But it was a lot that was just that's. I was amazed by the whole experience. It was a lot of people. Yeah. Oh yeah. A lot of people. Yeah. It's where I know anime is very popular. A lot of people name themselves, characters. Yeah. Everybody names also nicknames. Everybody, most people use anime characters, but just going to it. And just seeing this whole world of people who are dressed like them, the what do you call it, the Cosmo?
Cosplay.
Cosplay. I worked at a company that was, licensed to do a lot of, different brands, and which included anime, Disney, BioWorld, by the way, shout out to BioWorld. And even when I was there, I didn't really focus so much into it, but I did work with a lot of people that was into anime, into all this, all this stuff. Only now I understand why they loved it so much, So and that was, like I said again, was just 0.00002% of the real fan base that I've been around, you know, that I haven't even seen yet, you know. So I'm sure there's people who drive miles, fly miles to follow all these shows and stuff like that, just like it is with anything else, you know.
Yeah.
Now, and then going on to the second reason, like remember I said I have a half and half relationship with it. The second reason, I mean the other reason why I'm glad I didn't get into it when I was younger is because, one more thing I had to mention, the characters, I wanted to get everything over there.
Oh yeah.
It's just like it's just so cool, like especially for decorating wise and just, you know, it's just you know, figurines, just collecting stuff. Yeah. Just having that collective stuff. It's just very it's amazing. But the other thing that I really well, I'm semi glad I didn't get into it early. Man, it's expensive. I think I would have spent all my money towards, and this is just one show I went to.
Oh yeah.
But with what I know now, it's expensive.
Oh yeah.
It's an expensive industry. That's why even when you asked me, I said I'm in the wrong industry. but because I mean those all those voice actors. Remember we were even talking about this. Remember we were saying I mean I keep going on and on, but we're talking about how the original show is actually in a different, or most of them is made in a different country.
Yeah, it's made
like let's say Japan, which
Japanese.
is the most. Yeah, it's the Japanese shows, right? So they're very popular there, which actually influences them to become popular to the world. Yeah. So they get popular there first, and they become popular everywhere. Yeah. Just like the same thing with the Atlanta music. Yeah, yeah. So but the trajectory of the people here in the United States that love these shows, and it's, when I was talking to my friend, Ashton, he said he saw that I went to the show, and he was asking me all these characters, you know. He's like, man, you'd have loved to be there and stuff. Like, he was telling me the ones he likes to watch, and then he says, but you know, you gotta get into the dubbed. I like the dubbed better. Mm-hmm. So the dubbed is, what I understand, is the translated one. Yeah. So it's like, so the people who are dubbing it are becoming famous of this product that started off somewhere else. Yeah. And they're celebrities here. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Because the Fan Expo is all dubs.
It's all dubs. Yeah. So how about those non-dubs? Do people know the actual real authors? The people who make the shows, like the background people, are they that famous too? Maybe in Japan, I'm sure.
Maybe in Japan. If you're really into, like, really
deep into
anime, you'll know, like, people who are really deep into anime, they don't even watch dubs. They kind of see them as fake anime.
Yeah, I'm sure I could see that happen.
But, like, here, it's like, it's a culture type thing, you know. People are into dubs, like, because they can't go and tour around the country with people who don't even speak English. Right. So I guess that's what I was thinking too, because I was like, okay, so all these people watch these shows, so do they watch subs or do they just like the dubs version?
That's true.
But the thing is, people who love anime. Like, there's some people who don't care if it's dub or sub. Yeah. As long as it's a good show. Because the story is, the argument is that dubs, they change the story around. They sometimes they're not as, like, graphic, or they're kind of friendlier, because sometimes they want to cater to, you know, a U.S. audience is a little different from a Japanese audience. But a majority of the story still comes from the same book. So it's hard to completely change the story. It's not going to be completely different. So I think at the end of the day, they'll like both. I think they'll like both.
But it's almost like it's one of those things too. I think we talked about it on one of the podcasts. Translation is very difficult too, because to get that emotion that it gets, it's bigger than just language. Yeah. So sometimes, you know, it happens a lot. You know, when I try to, when I see even music, like African music, Afro pop. Yeah. When they make songs, when you can tell they're really being influenced by, you know, Western country, they're making songs, their own songs, but they're trying to put in, you know, they're trying to add some of the spices from West. Yeah. It doesn't look right. Yeah. Not because they're not doing it correctly, but it's because they're translating it exactly as how it should be. It would be, and it's just the nature of, you know, of how it is. So I think that's how it is too with the anime. Yeah. Because
I think mostly the people who would actually, like you're saying, I think the Japanese would feel that way. Exactly. When they see the dubs. That's probably the people who are mostly like, I would never watch a dub. Yeah. Now, if you're American, It's in English.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you don't even know like the book. Well, the thing that's weird is the mangas come in English.
Okay.
But the actual shows come in Japanese.
The mangas being the
books.
The books. The comics.
Yeah, manga's the book.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's kind of interesting that the mangas, you can read them in English.
Right.
But the show's in Japanese.
Okay.
And that's where it blows up in Japan. But I don't know. It's weird.
It's an interesting field. It's an interesting. I had no idea. Excuse me.
And I'm not super deep into it. I don't know if they have a Japanese manga, but I know most of them because
so when you say
read the manga.
So you're saying it's in English
when you read it.
When you read it.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I might have to get back with Avery on that one because he reads a lot of mangas.
Yeah.
That kid reads a lot of manga. So I asked him if they have a Japanese version because that's what kind of confuses me, that the book is in English, the show's in Japanese, and then they make it in English.
I could see that.
Interesting, right?
Very.
Mm-hmm. And then, of course, Funimation is headquartered here in Kappa.
Oh, don't even take me over there.
Down the street.
That was my next thing. Funimation. That's why I said I'm in the wrong industry. Because that was just probably 15% of Funimation's income. I mean,
mm-hmm.
Not even income. I forgot what I do. Brain fart every time. But that's interesting, man.
Yeah, I think most of those voice actors might be Funimation employees.
Yeah.
I don't know, but they're kind of celebrities now, but they probably work for Funimation. I don't know.
I think they're when they have the contracts done, or it's gotta be governed by Funimation. I think that's who's really paying them.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm thinking. Somewhere in that web, Funimation steps in because Sony is actually the big dog who owns all of it.
Yeah.
But I think when I think that Sony just purchased Funimation. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I have to get back with people who work there. But Sony has a majority ownership of Funimation, so they're on top of their companies.
Yeah, I see that. I could see that.
And this place, for people who watch anime, Crunchyroll is where you can get like all the anime in Japanese subs.
Mm-hmm.
They're part of Funimation. I think they're one company now, so it's kind of crazy. Like it's kind of becoming a monopoly now, so it's kind of scary. Yeah.
Everything is a monopoly.
Yeah.
I read something yesterday. I was laughing because I read something yesterday. This might not even be related.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of that, but there was an article that's Ford. It said Ford to Tesla. Thank you. We take it from here. That was the title, because they were highlighting the Ford electric vehicles that are coming up.
Yeah.
And apparently they're supposed to be top of the notch. I mean, not even the truck.
Oh.
It's just
really?
their whole lineup. They have a whole lineup. And then the article was talking about how Ford is, it's a car company at first.
Yeah.
Tesla had to first learn how to run a car company with electric gas, or just running a car company. That was, and Elon is always talking about. You'll notice that every time, we are big fans of Elon, big fans of innovation. I don't think there's a podcast that I would never go through without him, because he plays a part in it on my progression. But anyway, so they were talking about how the article was, describing how, being that Ford is already in this industry of cars, they were just waiting to understand how electric vehicle does, and they're going to take it over and then monopolize it. Mm-hmm. So it's a bigger challenge for Elon. What he really has to him is he was the first, and he just has to probably patent a lot of technology. Mm-hmm. That's the only way he can, because when they start GM Ford, when they start eating him out, the sharks are gonna come running. Mm-hmm. But I'm sure he's good. He is backing.
It's crazy
because I think they buy most of the parts. Tesla actually sells some of their technology to all these other companies. So it's just like that HP thing or Intel thing, where Intel sold their chips to every company, but something like that.
It's crazy you say that, because I've been seeing a lot of advertisements for electric cars from Chevy, Ford, Mercedes has one, BMW has one. I was like, wow, so they're coming. Tesla's got to watch out.
They are coming.
They are coming.
Because the thing about it too, they already have the plants. They just have to take off the gasolines
Yeah.
lines, you know. They already have the plants across the world. Tesla is still building up, you know. So this, when was Ford building? 14?
Yeah.
No, I said 14. It's like, all they have to do is just shut down 6 of their plants. Okay, we're no longer doing.
We're doing electric now.
We're doing electric cars with these plants now. So anyway, I just kind of shoved towards that because you mentioned the monopolies.
It's crazy. But it's scary with the electrical. The electrical cars there. Because I feel like that's. I agree with you on that, but my fear, not my fear. The one thing is I don't want them to do that, but I feel like they have to do that for electrical cars to become the norm.
Yeah, they have to be part of it.
If they don't, it'll never be.
They'll never be part of it.
Super expensive.
And for many reasons. One of them being also, you know, it will also makes it affordable for people like us to buy cash cars. You know?
Exactly.
So, but it will promote that because the bigger it is, but it will take away the exclusivity.
Yeah.
So it's also kind of it's kind of because then we won't feel it's like. I was talking about this, like what Mercedes did with I think it's the G-Wagon.
Yeah.
They had been making it. They started making it. At first, they were making so many of them each year. Then it was losing value because everybody and their mom was driving it. And they're like, wait a minute. The whole Nike thing where exclusivity is like, you know what? We're going to have to make it by order, custom order.
Yeah.
So from a business perspective, like, and people were arguing about it, saying, so they're going to lose money and stuff. But no, not really. Because if you're Mercedes, it's like, you already, they know what they're doing. Because if they go sell that car for 6 figures, they're not willing to sell 10,000 6-figure cars, because even making those cars, it does cost a lot, so it's not like, it's just, it's not like they're doing, it's like selling a Big Mac for $1.
Yeah.
So there's a reason why the Big Mac is more than $1 because he has the fresh lettuce, he has the big cheese, it's the bun is now extra, fluffy. All that stuff takes time.
That's true. Yeah, so the demand. I always think demand is like to make something exclusive is better than mass production.
Mm-hmm.
Kanye is the one who also learned. He was the
he's
king.
Learning from that too.
He started that. Now he's saying he wants everyone to have one, but when he started, he knew, okay, I gotta create buds. What's the best thing to do?
I love Kanye, but come on, he's gonna keep exclusivity.
Yeah.
That's what money is.
Sell 20
the more they want is, the better.
Yeah,
but I get it.
He knew he was the king of that. Like, only 20 pairs of shoes I'm gonna release, and then they'll fight over him, and then it makes the next shoe more popular. Now he's trying to do it like where everyone can get it, but it's hard. Oh, I think you do it to a point where it makes sense to you. Mercedes is a luxury car. They don't want to mass produce so many.
They gotta protect their brand.
Yeah,
they protect their brand. They don't want to become a Kia.
Yeah, but
no offense to Kia, but Kia is a very good company.
It's a very good car.
It's very economical. There's their own design. It was just a fitting joke.
Yeah,
it's just, this podcast about promoting good companies and also pointing out everything that's out there. But go ahead.
But it's interesting that he's mass producing the Gap line.
Mm-hmm.
But he still hasn't mass produced the Yeezy line, but he wants to mass produce the Gap line, which it makes sense. So it's Gap.
I was gonna say that maybe this sounds like that would be the best fit. That's actually smart. That'd be the best fit to produce mass. And then that way he can leverage that to his Yeezys, and then you could make them exclusive. Because same thing. I mean, Gucci does the same thing too. I mean, they over the last, not even Gucci, or most big designer companies,
luxury brands.
Luxury brands. But over the last few years, I would say they've been kind of falling towards that. That they've been trying to mass produce. I think companies, personally, I think they have an issue. They have problems with that. They have a challenge with that because they want to know. They don't know how. What's the best way to do that. Yeah.
Because the argument is that. They're trying to figure out if these clothing companies do they hate the resale market or they love the resale market? Because as much as you don't want people to sell your brand, that you don't get that part of the profit. it kind of does build a lot of demand for the product when there's not a lot of product.
It's funny.
Buzz.
I think I heard. I was listening to a podcast recently that was talking about that too.
Really?
Or maybe I just be running into stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's true. I've thought about that. I've thought about that before. Like, is it a good or bad thing?
Yeah.
Do you want your product to be sold? Like, for example, I know, of course, Nike is notorious for that with the Jordan line.
Yeah.
There's people who lost their lives in line trying to get a Jordan shoe.
Mm-hmm.
How I always used to wonder how advantageous is that to them.
Yeah.
What does it help them? But I think from what I've been seeing from a lot of people, it's a good marketing tool.
Yeah.
Sounds like it's good for marketing. It's good for promotion. People always want what they can have.
Yeah, exactly.
So they're willing to pay that price.
Yeah.
But the thing about Nike though, they end up sending a lot of lawsuits for the which is kind of they built that industry.
Yeah,
they're building that industry.
They built the industry
by doing that way. It's like Tesla only making 3 Model X's and then get mad, when somebody out there makes their own Model G.
Yeah. So because that's true. That like the question is that what we never will have an answer to is if they didn't build that demand, would they sell so much? Mm-hmm. Would people buy them if they weren't so popular or so hard to get? Would they buy them?
It's the same as knockoffs.
Yeah.
And knockoffs don't exist anymore because they're all coming from the same factory where they're making the knock-ons.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
So I think that's where the biggest issue is. I used to work in the industry that did clothing and they work with manufacturers and stuff. Imagine when you hire somebody and he works for your company and he's he's a buyer, because I think in most manufacturing companies they call them buyers. That's just part of one of the jobs. He's working with all these Chinese companies, Chinese manufacturers, the top-notch companies. So he knows where the Nike shoe is being made. Yeah, they just own the brand. Nike is not stitching it together. Yeah, they just own the patents, the branding, and all that stuff. So when you have somebody in-house, and we're human beings, we're always gonna go against the grain. So I think they've done a great job to come to this point on fighting. But fighting fakes and selling and all that stuff, it came a long way. It just got better now. The fakes look a lot better. If when I go in the streets, I don't know who's wearing real, who's wearing not real now anymore. So but with that said, I feel from them from a business standpoint. Yeah, trying to sell clothing, and then you have the possibility that somebody can just take and make it and make money off you. Because a lot of people made money, especially when even like eBay or StockX is what I was thinking about. Yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah, they I know that's Nike, one of Nike's worst enemies right now. Yeah, but I mean, I don't feel bad for them because I'm sure they're gonna buy StockX in about a year or so. Yeah, exactly. They do that. They're gonna monopolize it anyway. But the thing about it is just that things like that. Who's to blame? Yeah, you're doing the same thing that.
I think it's part of business too. Like I feel like that's required to be like in that business because they probably have a budget set to fighting that. Probably let's put 10 million here so we can fight people who are making fake shoes, and then let's do this part of our company, let's do that part of our company. It's just part of the business, like you said. It's just it's very interesting because like you said, and the thing I think that makes it harder now is internet. Back then, getting a fake was hard. Right. You had to go meet some sketchy people on the street and buy a fake pair of shoes. Yeah. You don't know if he's gonna steal your money or what. Yeah. Now we have the internet where you can't even tell what's real and what's fake because, like you said, you can go to websites that'll tell you, oh, these are some Yeezys, and the kids will buy them thinking they're real Yeezys for way cheaper.
And like I said, what really makes it fake today is because this is a shoe that it wasn't requested by Nike. It wasn't released by Nike or sold at a Nike store. But it was made on the same line that Nike made these. so it's the same product, but this is just not in their inventory. That's what makes it fake. Exactly. And it's scary for them too.
It's actually a Nike shoe. They probably made it. They made it. Had a little stitch you can't even see that they didn't pass quality, or who even knows, they might have sold more or created more than they needed.
I honestly think they actually took it off the line and said, As perfect as it is. That's why it doesn't have a box.
Yeah.
Then next week they go in, they get the box, and they put the box aside, and they match them together. So I really think things have come a long way now. Because I remember we used to go to New York. Mm-hmm. You know, when we were younger, we used to go to New York, try to buy all those knockoffs. Yeah. They were still coming there, but at the time things were tighter. Yeah. Now they found a way to get into the market. They found a way. Man, they're selling knockoffs that are actually better than the real thing. Yeah. Better than the real deal. True. And I'm that's true.
And then there's new terms now. It just makes everything so hard. They'd be like unauthorized, still Nike, but they just didn't put it on the floor. It's just it's too much now. It's just too much. Social media.
What I don't like, okay, I can't say I don't like this. Speaking of clothing, and I like clothes. You know, I have more clothes in my closet than I have anything else. So, but one thing I haven't been understanding. I mean, I get it, but I see that a lot of companies, they're starting to come together and try to brand together. I'm not sure if I'm a fan. I saw this Gucci Adidas line that was being advertised the other day. It looks so fake. I thought it was when I saw the article, I thought I get it, but I don't know. Yeah. I was watching this guy it reminds me, I was watching this guy. I know I keep jumping from topic to topic, but Tony Fido is the guy who made the iPod, or who came up with the iPod. The initial iPod, and he was talking about that too back then. I didn't even know that Apple at one point was going to work with Motorola to come up with a product, and that did not work because there was so many different mindsets. So that's what I think about right now. That's what I think about when I see all these brands coming together. Adidas is Adidas, Gucci is a whole different line. So I feel like it's a different audience, but now I guess it's inclusive. Yeah. I guess we can look at it that way. But to me, it doesn't feel, no matter what they do, it doesn't feel the same. I know it's coming from the same company and stuff, but I just feel like they just sent in, a picture to the Adidas factory and say, okay, I put Gucci right here like this. So it doesn't feel to me like it came from Gucci store. Like, what Gucci really envisioned when he was bringing up this company. It doesn't make me feel, I feel like that's the modern way of doing things, and I get it because if Steve Jobs was here, I'm sure we'd not have a yellow. I'm not sure, but I doubt we'd have a yellow iPhone 13. Yeah, because that's just he did his thing very. Yeah. But I guess that's the modern way of doing things. It's just adapting to it. It can never be the same. But I just feel like, it's still not Gucci to me if it's made by Adidas. Because I bought it for that logo. Now you're putting another logo on top of another. I love Adidas. That's what he is. That's who makes Yeezys. That's who who Yeezy is working with. But I love Adidas. When I'm wearing it, feeling that I'm wearing Adidas. I want to drive a Toyota that's designed by Tesla, and I feel like I'm driving a Toyota. It's not the same. Oh my gosh. So that's my story on this. On that.
But let's talk about what recently happened.
A lot recently happened. Like 2 hours ago, something else happened.
This last week with our boy Steph.
Congratulations to the Warriors. I wasn't surprised. I'm sorry to all my Boston fans. I just wanted to see how long it would take for them to win it. I would have loved Boston to win for many reasons. The coach is African. One of the first African. I mean, I'm not talking African American. African. So that would have been a huge stepping point. But of course, with anything, he's an Americanized African. So it's still the same thing. His name still sounds African. I can't even remember what his name is. So to me, culturally, it would be it'll be a stepping point. I'll be proud of my people also getting with championship. So it's a good thing. And but I think and the other thing is it would have been great to see such a young team, such a young core squad get a championship. I feel like it was even actually too early for them to be where they are. They're still young, so I feel like they did a great job. They did a great job. Boston did a good job. I mean, it's just they're playing against the Warriors, man. I mean, it's not the same Warriors, but they're playing against a well-coached, experienced team that has been to the finals. Ain't no way they're gonna give it up when they got to that far. Now if they were playing maybe like a Phoenix Suns or another team, that's how interesting the basketball is. The good teams that I would have expected to beat them were not the one that they played.
Yeah.
So, but that's the nature of the sport.
Mm-hmm.
So they just got. And I can't blame them. They got to that point because they played. That's how it's strategized. If you wanna win, you gotta beat every team. You gotta make sure no matter who you play against, because I'm sure there's a lot of teams that could have competed with them better than. But Boston got to where they needed to be because they did what they had to do. All through good coaching, good.
Yeah.
Wins. They kept their wins above. So, but anyway, what we saying?
I feel
about
like
Stephen
the
Curry?
Warriors are the modern day Spurs.
Spurs, not Lakers.
Yeah,
I think the Laker. Maybe their Laker era was over when they did the whole LeBron and Cavs and all that. So now they're on their Spurs journey.
Yeah, it's almost like how like when you're right. Maybe it's Lakers because Steph is still a superstar.
Yeah.
So I can't really say that because the Spurs when they win, you don't really feel like. I mean, they're all good, but you don't really feel like oh my gosh, like when they were winning at the time. You're like, oh my gosh, Manu Ginobili. Oh my gosh, Tony Parker. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I totally. I'm so mad that I forgot about the Spurs, and I'm sure the Spurs are also mad because the only reason I agree with you. The only reason why I almost say the Lakers because the Spurs, like especially see how we're talking about it right now.
Yeah.
The way they did their things, they're almost like they're very Popovich. They're Coach Popovich. It was an army. It was an army. So they really the code of conduct is so strict.
Yeah,
they're not out there.
Yeah,
it's all teamwork. It's not just one person is good.
Yeah.
The Warriors are more flamboyant because you could see them like everybody will like them and stuff. Spurs were just a silent assassin. They just creep up, win championship.
Yeah.
Nobody talks about them. They win, and nobody talks about them.
I wish I was in in Texas when it happened. That would have been fun to go to San Antonio.
Because even if you see other Texas teams, look at Houston, look at the Mavericks.
Yeah.
They're out there.
Mm-hmm.
The Spurs are just like
quiet.
But it's also it's an army town.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, because I feel like you're right with the Lakers because the Warriors do have Klay Thompson. They have Steph Curry. Like the Spurs don't have like bigger than basketball superstars. They have great players, just great players who know what to do when they need to do it.
They got my man Draymond. Draymond, man.
Everyone forgets about
I want Draymond to come on the podcast one day. I know he will.
Yeah, I like Draymond. He's funny.
He has a podcast too.
He does?
Yeah, that's why people were making fun. They know when they lost one of their games, they were like, I think one of the commentators asked him, "Are you going to talk about this?" about this this loss or something on your podcast, could you think the podcast has anything to do with you not playing serious and stuff like that, and you can't say that to Draymond. He told you now you're reaching. He told him, he said, what does that have to do with the game?
But no, the finals felt different this year. They didn't feel the same as they used to. Well, I just been saying that since LeBron left the Cavs, I've always felt like not even since he left the Cavs. Since Kevin Durant got on the Warriors, I felt the finals has just felt different. It used to be fun. You never knew who was gonna win, but now these super teams are starting to make. And I see why they were trying to avoid creating super teams back in the day when wasn't Adam Silver, the old commissioner, wouldn't let them do it. Because he kind of wants to create that competition. Now it's competitive, but you have these super teams like I mean, even though the super teams aren't winning, like the Lakers, they had AD out, and then of course the Nets, they didn't win anything. So I guess they're not winning, but it just doesn't make it as fun as it used to be. Like back when LeBron was on the Heat, they had Chris Bosh, they had Dwayne Wade, they had all those great players, but it still felt like they're not guaranteed to win. They still got to work for that win, especially when they get to the finals. They still got to work for that win. It's not like a simple win.
Yeah.
But it's like after LeBron left the Cavs, went to the Lakers, and then KD. I think KD went to the Warriors first. But when all that started happening, it just started making basketball like it just came more about business. Or
I was gonna say I feel I agree, But I also feel like the super team era is kind of fading away.
Fading out, right?
Because everybody's good right now.
Yeah.
And I think, like, I mean, I would say good, but they're so athletic.
Yeah.
But they're so athletic. They're individually athletic at a very, very young stage, at a young age. Because I was looking at all these good players, like, what's the guy from Atlanta? Trae Young.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Trae Young.
Trae Young.
Like, he's been in the league almost 4 or 5 years. Zion Williams, but this guy's not even 21. They still can't. I mean, Trae Young, I'm sure he's older than that, but I'm sure he's not older. He's not older than 26. But he looks like he feels like he should be retiring.
Yeah.
So, and I just feel like, and the game itself, basketball as a business, I think it's bigger than just, the talent and all that stuff. They are they're the better franchise that knows how to handle their sport. Is in when it comes to, like, controversy and all that stuff. They have a good hand, on that, because basketball doesn't even do a lot of. They did the lockouts where they, a few of them, but they're not as bad as the other leagues. However, I just feel like it's also it's a mess. It's not being managed not managed, but it's just. Remember Howard Stern, the NBA commissioner?
Yeah.
No, not Howard Stern. Oh,
The
was it Howard Stern?
owner.
Yeah, I forgot his name.
For the Clippers, right?
No, not the owner, but the what's his name? He was the NBA commissioner who just left. Who everybody's know.
Oh no, I don't know.
Yeah, but anyway, I just feel like it's the business itself is changed, and because what people forget, all this stuff is a business behind it.
Yeah.
So it's how they're running the company affects everything. So I just feel like even the rules, man. When I was watching the finals, man. I know I'm probably not the best basketball player, but as much as I love Steph Curry, there's a couple of times he dragged his feet like 600 times and he made a shot. Like, that was a trouble. LeBron, I don't even go there. James Harden, I mean, I thought I was crazy, but like when I see people complain about it, these people are troubling. And then John Morant again, there's this controversy that he carries the ball, and when you read on the Twitter, you think, okay, but when you see it, you're like, what is going on? And I might be wrong, I don't want to get, I might be wrong. I love basketball. These people are talented. I could never do that stuff. I mean, Ja Morant is something else out of this world. I've never seen a point guard do the stuff he's doing right now. I mean, but it's just some of this stuff, man. I was just like, okay, maybe it's real. And even, actually, I'll give you an example. There's a foul that happened on the last game where one of the players actually elbowed the guy. And I think he elbowed him, and he just, but the reaction was late. He reacted later on after like 2 minutes, and then it was a flagrant foul. They reviewed it and stuff. But then the camera people kept showing the piece, and I was like, this is bad. And I literally saw the newscasts ignoring what I was saying. I'm not stupid. That guy was not touched. And he said, oh, it's bleeding, so he has been foul. He wasn't bleeding. But they kept showing the video. I don't know if I go look it up online. Somebody probably pointed it out on Twitter somewhere. But I think what happened was a miscommunication with the cameras, because they're supposed to be not showing certain things, but they kept showing it in slow motion, and you could see the delay in reaction, and that this guy was not touched. Then I realized, I was like, I'll be forgetting this is the WWE with the ball. These people are acting. They're acting. That's why people don't understand. When they go in that locker room, they say, okay, welcome to the NBA. You made it, you played all the school. Now you have to realize you are now in the entertainment business. So the main actor, Superman, is LeBron James, okay? So when you go fight him, you gotta do this. That's really what it is.
Oh yeah,
they're just very good. I mean, of course they're playing basketball, but it's different. There's a lot of behind the scenes that's going on. Like, because I know I can look this up online. I'm sure a lot of people are talking about it, because the cameraman, it was awkward because they kept, how they Sports Center presentation. He's like, well, it'll be a flagrant round. Let's call New York and see what New York would say, because the people who do the rules in NBA who do replays are actually based in New York. So they call New York in the studio in New York, and then they review the file. And he was like, oh, he's giving his all rule book basketball, but they keep showing the play. He was not touched at all.
Wow.
Like, it was bad. It was like a bad movie, like somebody gets punched, like when they're doing things, and you don't. Yeah. But then, and they say, oh, when there's blood, that means it's going on. This guy was not even touched, because the slow motion showed the elbow really miss him.
Wow.
And I was like, I can't remember which two players it was. I think it was Klay Thompson and somebody else. But
that's great.
It's interesting, man. But somebody's gonna come out there. There's some angry people right now, anyway. With the way things are ran,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I think, like you're saying, it's a different time, because they have the new commissioner. So everything's gonna be changed about the NBA. Back then, he didn't want them going to different teams. Now he's younger. It's a younger league now. It's a young league.
It's also a young commissioner too.
Yeah, so everything's young.
Adam Silver.
Yeah, so I understand. That's why you had those old, and like I said, the Clippers owner, he gets kicked off the team because he was an older owner.
Yeah. So
it's
not the same.
It's a different game now. It's a lot more fast paced. Like
it's the same thing even with football. I was reading something about it's probably not really related, but this guy, an ex-Baltimore Ravens player, he was told, it was just a random article because I read random stuff. He was like explaining why wide receivers don't want to go play for Baltimore. So even without me going further, I was like, you know what? I don't know too many wide receivers that play for Baltimore. It's always about the quarterback.
Yeah.
And he explained that. Yeah, he's like, because the coach, that's the style of play. The offensive coordinator, he's been coordinated for 10 years. So he just never chooses. He said they just choose 2 receivers in the draft. They keep him until they're old and they let him go. I was like, I don't get no big names, some quarterbacks that come out. I mean, not quarterbacks. It's always the quarterback and the running backs sometimes.
And their defense.
Their
whole defensive lineup is just ridiculous.
Yeah, so there's no passing game.
Yeah.
it's a game, like literally a game where you can just take the ball and score it on your own.
That's true.
Lamar Jackson, great player. I know he's a great player, but I'm just saying, look at their quarterback. Their history has always been people who hold the ball.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's interesting. It's very interesting. But what was that?
That's what it is. It's part of it, I would say let's go to hockey, but that's just another one. Because they be beating each other's up. And I never
baseball has a good control over it.
Baseball has a good control. Baseball, that's another sport I didn't know how lucrative it is.
Oh, yeah.
And
they make money.
You should go. If you've been to a live basketball game, it's boring to watch on TV. But if you go live,
it's fun.
It's very fun. You should go to the Texans. I mean, I don't know why they haven't. Well, I guess I get it. Why they haven't done that with like other sports. Just the way the fields are set up. Like they have the concession. It's like you're going to a fair. So you can easily miss the game. There's just so much going on around the game. Because like when you go to basketball, you could go to a restaurant, you could go drink, you could do all that. But the way a baseball, maybe because it's an outside setting, it's so cool. It's so fun. Like it's just
and those games are long, right?
They're long, but like it's a lot of other stuff going on. While the game is going on. So when you go buy your food and stuff, there's a chance you're gonna come back and it's in the third quarter. But they have some die-hard fans. I have some friends who really been following baseball for a long time, and I could see why. I mean, they have some and the players are so strong, but I don't see it because they work out, but I don't know how.
They're strong, and they also don't get into. I mean, I don't hear any scandals about. They're
just alcoholics for the most part. No, I hear a lot of. I mean, not a lot. Yeah, it's managed very well. And I think because it's not a contact sport, so they're not really getting all the controversial things that happen with football.
Basketball is too. They don't really have a lot of scandal. I guess football is the one that has the most because, like you said, the contact sport.
I feel like basketball, the reason why it's that way, they're the most free. They're the ones who are really. I personally think that's a sport you could get away with. I mean, you need to practice everything, but I feel like they get into your mind like the Iverson effect.
Yeah.
They can go party and they can still go drop 60 points tomorrow. It's just a lot more It's a lot more. It feels a lot more lenient. It's a sport that you don't need. Like football, you gotta rest those muscles. I mean, every sport you gotta rest your muscles and stuff. But I think basketball is just. It's the nature of the type of sport. You get all those millions of dollars. Yeah. You're still young. Your injuries. You get injuries, but you have a lot of longevity, and you're a lot more accessible to people than a football player. Because after you've been beat up all day, the last thing you wanna do is go to a club. you've been tackled. You've been running around, catching yourself. So it's like I that's how I kind of look at it. Because I always thought about it like basketball is like that too. Soccer is like that too. Yeah. Soccer, they be making a lot of
natural talent.
But soccer people are very, very, they're very lean. I mean, cut in. I mean, because they're running for 40 minutes back and forth. It's amazing. I play soccer too, man. You run if you want to talk about running out of breath. That's how basketball is because you're running back and forth.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, that's very true.
But I mean. Sports, in general, professional sports, that's a whole nother conversation. Because that's another, because those owners are making money.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
If you can pay LeBron, let's not even say LeBron, Steph Curry $250 over the course of, 5 years, whatever the contracts go like.
$250 million.
Yeah, and he's one of 10 players on your team. I mean, football probably they more, but how much are you making? Yeah. Like Steph Curry reports to you. He's your worker. Yeah. I remember I saw like the Jordan Poole, like you see, he's the next of kin right now. He's like the one from Norway. He looks like he's the one who's they're passing the torch to. There was an article after they won the championship, him and Andrew Wiggins, they were talking because they're the young kids on the team. So it just kind of went viral because they were they were drinking champagne, they were drunk right after winning, and they're like screaming at each other like, "Oh, they were kind of doing like a TikTok-ish type of thing. They're like, oh my gosh, guess what?" He's like, "What? We go to Disney." That's what he said. That's what one of them said. I think Wiggins said. He said screaming, "We go to Disney!" Taking shots or whatever, right? Then he said, "Oh, guess what as well? We about to get paid. We getting that bag. We getting that bag." It's like, because then the article was explaining what it meant. I know I'd get in the bag, but to the masses, they're like, because remember when you win a championship, you get a raise. From your owner. He's like, you made me win, so and it's not a raise from people think it's from the NBA. No, it's from your owner. But the owner, of course, it increases the value. I mean, the Warriors. Everybody's favorite team now. So the more you win, the more you get people on your team. The more people want to buy your jerseys. People want to come to your games. That's why they got the new $1 billion stadium because they're winning. So I get it, but it's just amazing how, as an owner, you're a CEO of a company. You're paying people like Steph Curry. You got money, man. Yeah. And then, like in every business, in everything that happens, you gotta at least be making 50% profit of anything, of all your assets. And I know not even 50%. It would be dumb for him to say I make 50% of Curry, 50% of Clay. It has to be like 25 or 10%. He's paying that money. He's paying Curry. It's probably about 10% of his revenue. Not even, because 10% of his revenue, that means includes the Warriors, how much they're worth, and so he's probably making 0.1005 of his revenue.
And it's funny that most of these owners. The basketball team isn't even their main source of income. That's more of a side.
That's a side hustle. Yeah. Because after they get to this level, then they buy a basketball team.
That's crazy.
It's amazing.
They're doing other things that are making way more money than that.
More. That's what I was looking.
That's not their livelihood because if the team's losing, it's not like they're going to be hurting. I mean, they're going to be hurting, but it's not like they lost all their wealth.
It's not even. Some of them will end up like liking that, and they kind of retire everything else. I mean, not retire, but they start focusing on that. Yeah, it's a passion. Yeah, look at my good old boy Jerry. Yeah. Jerry's like, he pays dollars. I mean, they owe him the city of Dallas. He's employing everybody out here. So
and Mark Cuban,
the same thing. I was reading his story was powerful too. I read how he got the Mavericks, and he was talking about them last time. He was like. He even said when he got the Mavericks, the reason he got them was pretty cool. Like you said, he had made, kind of lucrative. He made money into his businesses, and he wanted to see what the next thing was for him. And there's a young kid. He's always been a basketball fan. He knows how to play. He played basketball, but his talents were just not up to LeBron's. Yeah. So he got this opportunity to buy it. But at the time, he felt like it was a lot more. He said it was a lot it was cheap to buy, but it wasn't worth how good they were playing, how much the tickets. But he wanted to change the culture, so he wanted to he was inspired by the Cowboys, how Jerry took the Cowboys as a no-name team, and he just franchised it to make it a big brand. Yeah, and that's what he did with Mavericks. And I just recently saw this interview, and he was like explaining that the Mavericks haven't been reached where he wants them to be. Like he wants them to be like, the Lakers can lose every single game in the entire season, but they'll still have sold-out tickets every season. That's what he wants them to be. Yeah. So he said the way that the Lakers were built, that's why he wanted to take. And by this game, and then his very first, his very first investment was, of course, Dirk. And Dirk is a hero here. Oh. Yeah. So. And it was inspiring how he talked about them, how he showed. It was always showing the old games when nobody knew what the Mavericks were. Yeah. I was like, they did come a long way. Their stadium was, it was like, tickets were, he said the tickets were like a very like $15 tickets and stuff. Dang. But he made them progress to a point where they, when you want to go, you got to, Mavericks games, some of them you can't go to them. Yeah, it's like he revamped. Yeah. He said he made the cheerleaders. He wanted to make sure the cheerleaders. He found this lady. He said, let's get the best cheerleading team. Let's make the seats. He put all this stuff. He wanted the center of the city. He said he had to spend a lot of money, like everything else, to make it to where they are. But like everything else, the money you put in, that's why they're good. That's true. If he really wants them to be good, he's gonna spend some Laker money, buy all the best talent. But as a businessman, you gotta prioritize. Do you wanna build, or do you wanna just pay all the, So it's quite fantastic. But I will get my team very soon. It's not gonna be in this market though. Not Dallas. Dallas is one of the only teams with 3 teams. I mean Texas.
That's what I was thinking about the other day
money.
Too.
That's the oil money.
I was thinking about that. Them and maybe California. 3 teams.
It's actually obvious because it happens the same way everything else is. It's the obvious cities have the obvious amount of turnouts.
I think Dallas is the only one with 3, huh?
Yeah. Nah, there might be other franchises. I just can't think right now.
Yeah, Cali has some, and then New York has 2.
New York 2, Brooklyn, and what else? You might be right. Yeah, Cali is like 7.
I know. Oh, yeah.
But they like that even in baseball sports. Too. They like the same way in baseball. I think Las Vegas, because the Raiders moved to Vegas. But to me, Vegas is just Cali. I mean, it's just down the street. I mean, come on. I mean, you can drive 3 hours, 2 hours. So yeah. But
and then today's Father's Day. So how do you feel about that?
I gotta call my dad.
Yeah, I was thinking the same.
We don't. It's amazing. Like, I didn't know any of these holidays. Maybe now until I came to the United States. Yeah. Maybe now in Zimbabwe, I'm pretty sure with social media, which we'll touch on. Yeah. I don't even know if we still have enough time to talk about social media because that's a big one. I'd say I recognize most of these holidays when I came here, but it's fun.
Oh, but it's also Juneteenth too. I forgot.
Juneteenth is tomorrow. I wish
today. It's just tomorrow.
It's today. Day. See, I'm showing exactly my point.
It's the 19th.
When was the first time Juneteenth was done? Last year?
2021 is when they made it, or when Biden signed it into law as a federal holiday.
Okay. So most of businesses are closed tomorrow.
Yes.
But retail stores are surely open.
Yes. Yes, they are.
Surely open.
Today too, they're probably selling some good products.
Good product. What would it take to observe holidays like Martin Luther King, Juneteenth? What's another one? I was gonna say, what's the Hispanic one?
I just know they have a Hispanic Heritage Month, I think.
Maybe let's just say Hispanic Heritage Month. Or what would it take for those to be observed as like a Christmas or a New Year? I always wonder that.
Where everything is closed.
With everything. Like, what makes those days... I understand, I'm probably reaching because this has to do with God and history. Yeah. But what makes those days so special that they can close those days?
I don't know. I that's the only holiday everything in the country.
When you go to a new company, when you look at the calendar, those are the holidays. Yeah. Unless you're a gas station.
Yeah, maybe. That's the only day that everything in the United States is closed.
You will get gas on Christmas Day.
Oh yeah.
On New Year's.
Oh yeah.
You will get gas.
Yeah. New Year's is
actually open.
Yeah.
Walmart is open on New Year's.
Christmas is the day that
Christmas is. Yeah. But I'm pretty sure in all their board meetings are discussing how they can open on New Year's on Christmas for the last 10 years.
But I think it's because Christmas is so big in the U.S. It's
worldwide, man.
That's true.
Christmas is like worldwide. Maybe Muslims don't celebrate Christmas. People forget there's countries that actually don't observe Christmas. Well, they do, but in a different way because every religion looks at it differently and.
But there's a lot of money made during that whole month.
Oh, tell me about it.
That like November 31st or what? Not 31st, November 30th, right when they're done with Thanksgiving. Like around the 26th, they're done with Thanksgiving. Everything's off the shelf. That's when you start seeing snowmen on every shelf you go to. You start seeing snowmen, start seeing Santa Claus. The TVs start showing you Christmas-based movies.
Everything goes on sale. But what they literally do is put the sign that says sale and put the same price.
Yeah, put the same price.
And then people think it's on sale.
And then everything is Christmas-based, and the long sleeves come out. It's just crazy how much money is around that they probably say, yeah, we can afford to close one day. We've made all the other 29 count.
They cannot say that. They love their, They
love their money.
I guess that's that's the beauty of of the world, of the human nature. Mm-hmm. It's just the way things are.
Yeah, it's crazy to me.
So yeah, it's.
I tried to get some food on Christmas Day and
it
didn't work.
You will have some stores though that will
McDonald's was open, but they closed early.
Yeah, you have. I remember was it in Maryland? I can't remember where it was. Where you'd have a little bit of mediocre stores, a little bit stores that are open. That would say, "Oh, take the last little dollar you have."
Yeah.
The last little dollar you have.
I guess they expect everyone to spend their money on Christmas Eve.
It's the same thing like on Thanksgiving. Restaurants, there's some people don't know restaurants are open on Thanksgiving, but
a lot of places are open on Thanksgiving because Black Friday.
Yeah, but when you go into a restaurant on Thanksgiving Day dinner, it's almost so awkward. Like, hey, why don't you cook turkey at home?
Yeah.
Why don't you make some turkey at home? You're out here to eat, spend. But I mean, a lot of people do it, and no offense to anybody that does it. Like I said, I observe this stuff to be a part of the gang. To me, none of this stuff means anything to me because my mind is already triggered to say all these holidays cater to the businesses. To me, that's how I look at it because of course we own businesses too, so we know how it works. So to me, I get it. Not that it's a bad thing or anything like that, but if I have a way to celebrate, sure. If I'm doing it with my significant other or anything like that, it's nothing wrong. I enjoy it. Mm-hmm. I enjoy it. This needs to be done.
Yeah, Christmas time we start selling hot chocolate.
Hot chocolate, yeah.
I start selling some Christmas food.
Wish you a Merry Christmas and warm with hot chocolate under the tree. Oh man, I know Jeff make. Oh my God, imagine how much money Jeff makes on Christmas time.
That nice Christmas packaging, the little snowflake tape on it.
Oh my God, because you start seeing Amazon telling you that you gotta wait in line for this product.
Yeah,
in line, online. I was thinking about it too yesterday. Now that you say that, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of documentaries about Amazon out there, but when the whole concept of him, you buy something, it's already at a warehouse, and it's not at the person who's selling. The seller is just managing the store.
Yeah,
they're selling the stuff to the warehouse. It is genius. When I tried to do my stint of selling on Amazon and stuff, it didn't cross my mind because I had to send the products to Amazon and they listed them. It was a long, tedious process. But when I was thinking about it, I was like, really. All these stores are real estate companies. He just has a bunch of warehouses where he's storing all this stuff.
The stuff.
Most of the companies are real estate companies. McDonald's, they are real estate companies. It's all about, storage. Where you live, where you stay, it's buildings and buildings. That's why when McDonald's, when you're a franchisee, say, oh yeah, we'll take you. Just make sure you pay the rent.
It's interesting because he's making money from AWS, right, for Amazon Web Services. That's
their biggest rent. People don't even know. I didn't even know that. Because Amazon makes money from AWS. That's their, like you were saying about the NFL teams.
Yeah.
That's their niche product. Yeah. Because the whole world is on.
Yeah.
About 60% is on AWS, and the rest are like on Google.
Yeah. Which is interesting because you would think that, is he really making money from shipping? Because we have Amazon Prime, but all those subscriptions, he's probably making money from the subscriptions. And then he's making deals with the UPS companies. I don't know what the profit cut is or whatever it is.
He pretty much bought UPS at this point. Nobody uses UPS. I mean, I'm kidding. Businesses still use UPS, but the nature of Amazon is every postal company. That's why even Trump had a problem with the, he wanted Amazon to pay taxes and all this stuff.
Because when you think about it, you're sending your products to Amazon to sit there. And they're taking a cut of whatever you're making. So they're making money from the buyer and the seller at the same time. It's just hosting it.
It's a very, very... it's... And like when people recognize him, right? I mean, we all do this. We actually, like you said, we actually look at it from an Amazon, the store perspective, because we're consumers.
Yeah.
You know? But he really... People actually buy things thinking that they're coming from Amazon. He just took sellers and say, combine your stuff. And then it's just eBay with a different format.
Yeah.
It's amazing. He just set some standards, the Apple approach. Make sure your product is this way, clean, trustworthy, customer service.
Oh, yeah.
And then he just... figured out the shipping, figured out the storage.
The shipping is ridiculous. That, like, I was thinking about it, like, it's so normal to us to get something in a day or 2 days. Now, when I see a package and it says more than 2 days, I'm like, this is the longest ship I've ever seen in my life. But that's not normal.
He said that whole... I don't know, man. It's amazing. Like, I feel the same way, too. Can you imagine how many people look at even Prime? When Prime first came out, people were like, I'm not paying for Prime. It's almost like, paying for a subscription. Yeah. But he made it to a point where it's like the norm.
The norm.
I can imagine. I fully trust that he makes most of his, shipping money from Prime.
Yeah.
Members.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like he's made it to a point where, like, I mean, just the whole thing. You don't know how much Prime costs until you look at your subscription.
I don't even know how much I pay for it.
Oh, yeah. But when you look at it, then you're like, wow, I got to keep buying on Amazon so I can balance how I'm paying for it. And now you're making more money. It's just amazing, man. It's just amazing market. I mean, these geniuses, all these beggars, they're just so amazing, man, how they do these things. I mean,
in 2001, a package isn't coming in 2 days. It's coming in 2 weeks.
2 days?
Even in 2015, it would take a week.
You know how many things I can buy right now and it comes in the next 5 hours? If it's on Amazon, it will tell you if you purchase this in the next, especially in the big metropolitan areas like this, like Texas, DC, those, a lot of even this essential stuff. Like, I mean, it's just he just started a whole different infrastructure because I could see, like he does with the, what's the grocery stores?
Amazon Fresh,
but what's the grocery stores?
Whole
Foods. Like, I get the idea how he did that too. Like he did with that. So very soon the Krogers and stuff, they will be forced to work with Amazon because there's a lot of people like that are staying at home. They don't want to. Sometimes I just buy stuff on DoorDash just because. I just don't feel like walking 5 minutes away.
Even when we pick up, we did it on DoorDash.
We do it on the app. So it's like, it's already, that infrastructure is in there. Yeah. You're going to do it. So those stores are pretty much have to sign up.
Yeah.
So I think he just started a whole different thing, like where I think it's gonna be a boom. It's already happening. Yeah. But it's gonna be a big, like, everything, and they're trying to find out. Can you imagine even the DoorDashes, Uber Eats and stuff? They are well aware Amazon is coming
for them.
Right now he's just perfecting his shipments, but they already have the infrastructure to do that. They can ship food. They're doing whole this.
Yeah.
They're already selling, everything else. They're already transporting.
It's gonna be scary.
It's gonna be scary. He just bought everybody an Amazon van. Yeah. He said, "Oh, you know what? I can make it better for you. You get his van, just maintain it."
Because it's scary. You can press a button and it gets there in literally less than 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever it is. The same day at least. Because Walmart can't even do that.
It's the power of those warehouses. Because the product is right there down the street at Amazon. So I can imagine if I go there, it's like there's shelves, like these are the pencils. How big are they?
That's what I'm thinking.
These are anything. Man, you can look up any. If this cable breaks, if I know what it's called, somebody's selling it on Amazon. Yeah. That's where we are now.
And it's so crazy. He's smart. It's smart enough they realize what people buy the most. That's what will come now.
Yeah, that's what it's fully stocked.
Fully stocked.
He really understood.
He understands
retail. He literally, like when I saw
the trends.
Like when he was coming up, he said he started as a bookstore. He wanted to get books to people. But what in the midst of that, he realized that I can take a store and put it on the internet, because the internet, this one, everybody was crypto, doing what the crypto is doing right now. They were just buying stocks on the internet. They didn't know what the internet was. Oh man, I lived through this. That's why I have a trauma when I see this. I was young at the time, but I'm reliving this. People were just buying money. Oh, this is the new thing. Is investing, but they don't even know what it is. And now, of course, crypto with the plunging is doing now. It's now people are gonna really use in real life.
The Jeff Bezos of crypto.
Yeah, exactly. Now they come. Now it's gonna make sense. Yeah. But then it just happens. Yeah. But anyway, he literally, because he said he wanted to take a store and put it on the internet. Because at the time he said he did not even understand, but he knew that potential. He was trying to understand how would somebody buy something. He said it's funny to talk about it now, but how would somebody buy something they cannot see? Yeah. How can they try those questions, the whys? Yeah. And hows. Yeah. But look at him now.
Yeah, it only makes sense. Like, we're gonna buy it anyway. If you know what it is, you're gonna buy it. Because most of the time the stuff we buy on Amazon are things we've already researched and we know what it is. But at the time, people weren't doing that. Like you're saying, the internet wasn't a big thing. Like, he didn't know people.
They did not know what it was.
Yeah.
They just thought it was this thing we have to invest in.
Yeah, he didn't.
But Sabri and Google, they were like, okay.
Yeah, Bitcoin's going to have their Jeff Bezos.
Oh, it's in the works right now. And I think it's going to be more so towards the metaverse kind of thing. Yeah. Like the rides we went to. Yeah. That kind of opened my way of what the whole cryptos, NFT, I think that's where it's going to go. And the government just announced like a couple weeks ago that they have their hands on it now. So it's ready.
He's about to come up, whatever his name is, he's going to be the forefront of Bitcoin and whatever the new thing is that they do with it. I don't know what it's going to be something crazy. I don't know what it's going to be. It's going to be some Bitcoin.
And you see how as soon as that announcement for the government happened, everything is just plunging. Yeah. I checked my crypto this morning. I wanted to have a heart attack. But I even asked myself, why did I buy it? I'm a techie type of guy. At least I would like to say that, but I still don't understand what it is. I know all that talk about, it's the exchange currency, it's stuff. It's the new wave and stuff. But do you really think the government is going to get rid of the dollar that they have so much invested in? Maybe, of course, maybe, but it's going to be
they're going to make you spend dollars to get that crypto. Yeah. Because that's what I was thinking about. I was like, okay, if it's getting rid of the dollar, you're spending dollars to buy it, aren't you?
Exactly. Like,
so it's making the dollar even better, right? And you sell it for dollars, right?
They have their own United States person face on that paper. You're gonna get rid of that and put on a computer where you can see the guy's face, unless they come with a Lincoln coin.
Yeah, even if it replaces the dollar, the U.S. government's gonna be controlling it anyways.
The U.S. government is so proud of their money. Yeah, they're far from that.
Yeah, they'll never.
They're far from that.
I understand what the argument is. It's the same thing as when credit cards became huge, debit cards. People were probably thinking the same thing. Oh my gosh, debit cards are going to replace cash.
Replace cash, yeah.
But cash is king still.
Yeah.
Anything on the internet or through technology, you can track.
You can track, yeah.
Cash is king. Cash can be tracked too.
Yeah. Cash is king. It's still, I'll agree with that, because with even that rush with credit cards when they came around, and we were all wondering, like, man, they even tried to make it Apple Pay. But you still need cash to get Apple Pay.
Exactly. They're going to find a way for you to spend that cash to use that product.
Oh, yeah. This just have so much invested in it.
Yeah.
until I the way I look at crypto and all this stuff is like it's gold but on the internet.
Yeah.